Hi, everybody. Welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
So, Mike, when we watch a movie, we generally just concentrate on the main actors and the main story. But, as we both know, often hundreds of people are working to bring that movie to life and do a lot of background things. So let's see how many we can think of to introduce this article.
Okay. Well, of course, there's the director, sort of the boss, the creative boss of the movie.
Yes, that's right. I'm going to say we need the what's the cameraman? The chief cinematographer. Yeah, the person who understands how to move the camera to get the shots the director wants.
That's right. That's a very technical job. You have to understand how those complicated cameras work. And along with the camera person, you'll have the sound people.
Oh, yes.
Who record the voices of the actors as they say their lines. So we don't have a silent movie.
And there'll be a casting director who the director will say, I kind of want these people. And the casting director will go out and talk to the agents and find the right people and pick the right people for the roles.
That's often done before they start filming. And then, of course, along with the cinematographer, the lighting director.
Oh, very important.
That's such a big job when you actually see people making movies or TV shows. Adjusting the lights takes a long time and a lot of expertise and experience.
So there you go. That's
a lot of different jobs.
Yeah, that's an idea. And that's just a few of all the different people who work on movies. So we're going to get into a bit of that in today's article. It's a dialogue article between Pat and Laura, but it's called Lights, Camera, Action, which is going to be a movie sort of theme to today. Let's read through and see what it's all about.
Reading.
Lights, Camera, Action. Laura sees Pat watching TV.
Hey, Pat, what are you watching? It looks interesting.
This is that micro movie I mentioned before. I'm in it as a supporting actor.
That's right. Now I remember. However, you never told me how you got the part. Did you need to audition?
No, I was just helping my friend who made it. Now, he has become a famous director. He's directing and producing a lot of movies.
That's cool. I'm curious about one thing, though. What's a micro movie?
It's just like a normal movie, but it's shorter and has a lower budget.
I see. Is it your dream to become a popular actor one day?
I'd be glad if that happened. Right now, I'm just acting in all of my friends' movies. Plus, I am working part-time as a student actor.
Hopefully, one day you'll get your big break.
I hope so. Pat's phone rings. So we start off with Laura sees Pat watching TV. He's obviously sitting there on the couch watching something.
All right, and Laura asks, Hey, Pat, what are you watching? It looks interesting. So she just walked in, and it's the middle of the program or whatever Pat's watching, and Laura doesn't know what it is, so she wants to get some more information. So what does Pat tell her?
He says, this is that micro movie I mentioned before.
Is that a tiny, tiny movie?
Pretty much, but not in size. It's not something you'd only see on a smartphone. It's not that kind of micro. A micro movie is a very, very short film. Now, sometimes you will see it written with a hyphen, sometimes without a hyphen, as two words, but it's a very short movie, and it's usually made very cheaply by people who are not movie professionals, and they will share it on social media, like Facebook, Instagram, whatever, instead of releasing it in theaters. So it's a kind of very low-cost amateur movie, very short, that is just kind of made for fun or for interest. There's actually a film festival for these in my own home city.
Really?
Yes, there is. And we have a very tiny theatre where they can be shown. So about 20 seats in it.
Wow. So these are not the type of films that are made in Hollywood by Steven Spielberg or people like that. They might be made by young people, film students using cell phones or just normal digital cameras, and then a lot of stuff can be done on computers. So it's just a good creative way for young filmmakers to try out some ideas.
Yep.
We also had this word mention that Pat said he mentioned this movie to Laura before. Mention is spelled M-E-N-T-I-O-N. M-E-N-T-I-O-N. If you mention something, you talk about it. You refer to it. You bring it up as a subject. Maybe it wasn't the most important thing you talked about. Maybe you only talked about it for a few seconds or a few minutes, but you did talk about it. You did say it. You did pass on this topic or information to someone. For example, did I mention that I'm going on a short vacation next month? Did I mention that I'm going on a short vacation next month? I might not have told you anything about it, except I'm going on a vacation next month. I just mentioned it. I just brought it up.
Yep. So Pat adds that I'm in it. I'm in this micro movie as a supporting actor.
A supporting actor? Does that mean you carry people around?
Not quite.
Okay.
A supporting actor is someone who only has a small part in the movie. It's not a major role. He's not a main character. Now, it's more than just a background extra. These are two different jobs. An extra is just someone in the background, maybe walking, maybe in a shop, something like that.
They don't say anything. No. They're just sort of there to make it look more real.
But a supporting actor will actually have some lines, some interact. Maybe they will talk to a main character.
Okay.
So it could be, the main character's in a hotel, and a supporting actor is just somebody who's working in the hotel and does a few lines as he's helping the main character do something. So they might have some things to say, but they're not one of the main people.
Interesting. So it might be the hero, the main character's best friend or something like that.
Yes, or his girlfriend's mother.
That's right. There you go. And Laura says, that's right. Now I remember. Now that Pat is telling her more about this micro movie that he mentioned before, Laura is starting to remember the things that he told her, that he's a supporting actor and stuff like that. She says, that's right. Now I remember. And then she adds, however, you never told me how you got the part. Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question. When someone says, I'm in a movie, I'm in a TV show, I'm in a play, how did you get the part? You might ask them, especially if it's kind of a special thing in a special movie. A part is basically a job in a movie, a play, or a TV show. It's an acting job. So if you're just doing the cameras or the sound, that's not a part. But if you're the star, if you're even a small part like a supporting actor, but you're in it, maybe you have some lines or something like that, you're one of the characters in the story, that is a part or a role. We also sometimes say a role. This actor got a part that made him famous. This actress got a role that made her famous. A job as a character in some kind of story in a movie, TV show, or play.
So then Laura asks Pat, did you need to audition?
Oh, okay. Now, that's one way to get a part.
Yep. Here, audition is a verb. It can also be a noun. And to audition is to read a part of a play or a movie script to show how good you are at acting or how suitable you might be for a part. It's kind of like a job interview, but for an acting role.
Okay.
And this process is actually also called an audition. So you can audition, that's a verb, at an audition, which is the noun.
There you go. This is used for trying to get a job in some kind of artistic way, right? You audition as to be a singer, to join a band, or to be an actor. If you're talking about sports, we might use the word tryout. I'm going to try out for the soccer team, or I'm going to the basketball tryouts after school. Like audition, it can be used as a noun or a verb, but audition is pretty much limited to an artistic kind of job in the arts. Anyways, back to Pat. So did he audition for the role? Laura asked, and he says, no, I was just helping my friend who made it. I was just helping him. It's not a big part. This isn't a Hollywood movie, so he knew a guy who wanted to make it, and Pat said, oh, I'll help.
I'll do it. Now, Pat says about his friend, he has become a famous director.
Really?
So that we mentioned that in our introduction, the person who's in control of the movie artistically. And then Pat adds he's directing and producing a lot of movies.
Wow, good for him.
Now here, the word produce, P-R-O-D-U-C-E, produce, when we talk about movies, producing means managing and organizing the money for a film or a TV show or the staging of the play. Basically, the person who produces the movie or the producer, they take care of a lot of the business side of things to make the play possible or to make the movie happen so that the actual director can concentrate on the creative side, the directing side. Now, the word produce can also mean to make something, so it's kind of like making movies, but there's a specific meaning for movies and plays, which means manage it, organizing it, take care of the money side, and make sure that it happens. So we could say Steven Spielberg will produce the movie, but he will not direct it himself, which he often does. He is a producer and a director.
Interesting.
And so if he's producing it, he's organizing a lot of the stuff.
That's right. He'll come up with the money. He might hire the director.
Yes.
But the director will often make the artistic decisions. The producer is sort of like the director's boss, who, as you said, manages the business side. When we're talking about Hollywood movies with millions of dollars, that's a very, very important and challenging job, being a producer. Anyways, Laura hears all this information and news about Pat's friend, who's now a famous director, and she says, that's cool. And then she asks, I'm curious about one thing, though. So there is one thing she wants to know more about. What's a micro movie? Well, that's a really good question, and she asked it because she's curious. Yeah, curious is an adjective. It's spelled C-U-R-I-O-U-S, C-U-R-I-O-U-S. And if you are curious, that means you have a lot of questions. There's a lot of things you don't know, and you're interested in knowing more. You want to know more, so you want someone to tell you information, answer your questions, educate you a little bit on a certain topic. For example, Pat has always been curious about how a band creates a song from start to finish.
Absolutely true, and I may talk to you about that later.
I see.
Now, we've already talked about what a micromovie is. Pat explains it to Laura in the article. He says it's just like a normal movie, but it's shorter and has a lower budget. We could also say a smaller budget.
That's right.
Normal is an adjective spelled N-O-R-M-A-L, normal, and it means typical, not strange or different from the usual thing we expect in any way or in any situation. It's just, okay, a movie, I know what a normal movie is. It's not different. For example, today was just a normal day at school. Nothing interesting or unusual happened. I got up, I ate breakfast, I went there, I did some tests, I did my lessons, I played a game of football at the lunch break, and I came home. It was pretty normal.
And Pat had explained that a micromovie is shorter than a normal movie, a typical or usual movie, and it also has a lower budget. That's another difference between micromovies and normal movies. A budget is basically an amount of money that you have to spend on a certain thing. All right. For example, if you're going on a holiday, you might want to have a budget. You don't want to go on holiday and just spend as much money as you want, because then you'll come home and be poor. Your bank account will be empty. So you might say, I have a budget when I'm on holiday of 2,000 NT a day. That's how much I'm allowed to spend on food and traveling and maybe buying a few things. It's a limited amount of money for a very specific purpose. Most people will have a budget in their lives, right? You have to make a certain amount to pay your bills, and how much you make and how much you spend, that would all be a very important part of your budget. For example, the big Hollywood movie has a budget of $500 million US. That's a lot of money to spend on one movie.
It is, but that's what they spend on these things, and they make more money back when it goes into the theaters.
Hopefully.
Most of the time, yes. Now, of course, a micro movie has a lower or much smaller budget. They may only have, we've only got a few thousand NT to spend, so we've got to do this in a very clever way and not build anything, or no one gets paid either for making these movies.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Laura, now she understands what a micro movie is. She says, I see. And then she goes on to ask, is it your dream to become a popular actor one day?
Oh, okay.
Asking Pat.
So she wants to know, is this just a hobby, a fun thing for you to do, or are you serious about it? Are you serious about becoming an actor? And Pat says, quite honestly, I'd be glad if that happened. He says, yeah, sure. If suddenly I was a famous actor, I wouldn't mind. That would be pretty cool. And then he adds, right now, I'm just acting in all of my friends' movies. That's a good way to get experience, because acting, like many other jobs, is is not something you're just born able to do really well. It's something you have to practice at. And, unless you can become best friends with Brad Pitt, acting in your friends' movies at home is probably a good way to get a good start. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Pat then says, plus, I am working part-time as a student actor.
Oh, wow.
So here he uses the conjunction plus, P-L-U-S, plus, and we use this to add more information to what we've just said. Now, plus is more commonly seen probably in speaking than in writing. You won't often include plus in a formal essay or article, but you would often say it in speech. Plus, blah, 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 blah. I'm adding extra information. It's used in the same way as other conjunctions like also, in addition, besides, what's more, and all of those others. For example, I have to finish my math homework tonight. Plus, my mum has demanded that I clean up my room. So not only does he have to finish his work, he has to clean his room.
Interesting. All right. And we also had this term part-time. Part-time is two words, part, P-A-R-T, and then a dash or a hyphen, and then time, T-I-M-E. Here it's being used as an adverb. We could also use it as an adjective. If you do something part-time, when we're using it as an adverb, that means you do it some of the time. Not all of the time, but some of the time. We often use this when talking about work or jobs or something like that. If you're a student, for example, you have to go to school for a certain number of hours every day. But if you have a job after school for maybe 2 or 3 hours an evening or on the weekend, you work part-time. That's what you do part-time. You might be a full-time student. That's most of your time, but you also work part-time. And then if we used it as an adjective, you'd say, I'm a full-time student, but I have a part-time job. That means, in my free time, I do this work.
Okay, and Laura then says, hopefully one day you'll get your big break.
Ooh.
Now, hopefully is an adverb. It's used to show that you hope something will happen, or you use it to wish someone success or good luck. But the phrase big break, that's an interesting idiom. It's a useful one, and it's today's shortcut for you. So let's listen and learn what this phrase means and how we can use it.
Shortcut for you.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Why are you making that noise?
I'm getting ready to practice my song.
What song? Are you singing a song?
I'm going to be singing on a TV show tomorrow.
Really? With that voice?
Yep. I'm hoping it will be my big break.
You might break something. I just hope you don't break the cameras.
Now you're just being mean. A big break is a lucky moment or opportunity that brings you success in some way.
Oh, you mean a big break is 大好机会?
Yes. Now, will you let me keep practicing?
Sure, you need all the practice you can get.
Hey!
So as we see, a big break is a role or other performance that turns a person into a star. Laura has said hopefully Pat gets his big break where he can become a famous actor. Pat then says, I hope so.
Yes, absolutely. Even the most famous actor, even the best actors often have to have a little bit of luck in their career to get attention from that powerful person who makes movies. That would be their big break. So Pat certainly hopes to have a big break, as do many performers. And just then, we read that Pat's phone rings. What's going on?
Is it
Steven Spielberg
who's
on the phone?
Yeah, very interesting, but we have to stop there. That's the end of day one of our article.
But we don't know what's going to happen.
We'll have to find out in day 2, because it's now time for our For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So the question is, like Pat, would you like to work as an actor? Why or why not?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I have to say that I am already an award-winning actress. So
Hang on, wait a minute.
Yes, it's true. I won the Best Actress Award in high school. I played an old woman in a play. It was an all-boys school.
Ah,
you see.
I see.
So I had and I actually won the Best Actress Award.
Fantastic.
So as an award-winning actress, I don't know if I would get any jobs in Hollywood playing a woman these days, but I don't know. It's a tough job being an actor.
Yeah.
It's very glamorous, and we see the famous ones in Hollywood, but there are many, many other actors who really work hard at getting any kind of job. So I don't know. What about you?
Well, obviously, I have worked as an actor, both as just doing it for fun on stage and doing it for money in TV commercials and music videos. And
fabulous.
Even being a hidden background extra somewhere in Lucy a few years ago in the airport scene.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I've tried it. I think I left it just a little bit too late.
Oh, I see.
I think because at that time in my life, I needed a bit more regular income and stability. If I'd had some of those opportunities a few years before they really happened, I might have tried it to see, could I actually make a go of doing that kind of paid acting work and see where it went. As it is, I'm happy enough just doing plays for fun.
That's good. All right.
That'll do me for now. Working as an actor, I think it's not a financially secure job.
It's
unless
tough.
I'm better than I think I am.
That's right. You have to go out on a lot of auditions, as we mentioned, and no one pays you to audition.
No, they don't.
They only pay you when you get the job, and
Okay.
that's tough.
Yeah, well, that's the end of the article. Join us again for day 2 to find out who was calling Pat. Lights, camera, action. Laura sees Pat watching TV.
Hey, Pat, what are you watching? It looks interesting.
This is that micro movie I mentioned before. I'm in it as a supporting actor.
That's right. Now I remember. However, you never told me how you got the part. Did you need to audition?
No, I was just helping my friend who made it. Now, he has become a famous director. He's directing and producing a lot of movies.
That's cool. I'm curious about one thing, though. What's a micro movie?
It's just like a normal movie, but it's shorter and has a lower budget.
I see. Is it your dream to become a popular actor one day?
I'd be glad if that happened. Right now, I'm just acting in all of my friends' movies. Plus, I am working part-time as a student actor.
Hopefully, one day you'll get your big break.
I hope so. Pat's phone rings.
Vocabulary Review.
Mention. This is the restaurant that Nancy mentioned the other day. She said it's pretty good. Produce. Stan's job is to produce movies. He's in charge of hiring staff, creating schedules, and more. Curious. Karen is a very curious girl. She's always trying to learn new things about the world. Normal. Jake's day at school was pretty normal. Nothing strange or interesting happened. Budget. The movie had a large budget, so it's full of famous actors and lots of action. Plus. I like how these shoes look. Plus, they're really comfortable.